Three common hang-ups that women can have, particularly around our bodies, our image, our weight loss. And when I talk about hang-ups, or when I use that term hang-up, what I mean is it's almost like a pressure point. It's something that's keeping us from moving forward. Hi. So that could be something that's keeping us from progressing and taking that next step. That hang up could be something as simple as a misunderstanding or misinformation or a lack of information. A hang up could be more of an emotional thing, like that's actually one of the ones that I'm going to talk about today, is one of the kind of emotional hang-ups that we can have around weight loss and getting healthy. So yeah, the way that we feel towards what's going on or what's not happening for us can definitely be a hang-up and can be kind of an obstacle that keeps us from taking that next step. And some of the hang-ups that we can have are honestly just all about action and a lack of taking an action that we know we should take. So all of these, if you kind of look at them, whether your hang up is, something that you're thinking, something knowledge-based, if your hang up is something you're feeling, kind of more of a belief issue, or if your hang up is just something that you know you should do but you haven't done, you haven't taken an action. If you really look at that and take it all back to kind of its core, it's really all a mindset thing, which is why I am calling this community Momentum Mindset, because I believe that at the core of our decisions and our actions is not just feelings and not just, that oomph that we might have to get something done, but it really all comes back to our mindset and how we're thinking, the things that we're believing based off of what we know to be true. So really, it's all mindset. So I want to jump right in here today. Before I do, I just want to remind y'all, if you were able to catch my video from yesterday, that we do have the portion control container bundle available for sale right now, and you can get the bonuses with that if you purchase by Sunday at 10:59 p.m. Central. But I'm going to talk about that more later in the video. I really just want to jump on in today and make today kind of a shorter video for y'all. So maybe we're kind of doing it backwards. What do I mean by that? Maybe we're kind of looking at weight loss, if that's your goal, or getting in shape, if that's your goal, maybe both, like it is for me. Maybe we're coming at it backwards. Maybe we're focusing so much on what we're trying to do. Am I doing the right thing? Am I doing the right exercise? Am I taking the appropriate actions? But we're doing that before we examine why. We're doing it before we examine our beliefs behind it and our emotional, motivation for wanting to make those changes. If we take another step kind of back in the process towards the beginning, what is it that we're thinking that is leading us to believe these things, that is leading us to either take or not take, the appropriate actions? So again, doing it backwards. In America, we're very much like results oriented. What do I need to do? What do I need to do? Just tell me what to do. Give me a plan. And I can't speak for everyone, but I know for me in my weight loss journey, which has been like this roller coaster, yo-yo, whatever you want to call it, I never really saw major results, at least not sustainable results, until I got this part right. I saw some results, but I feel like I was still playing guessing games with what I was doing and how I was doing it. So that's why I want to approach all of our hangups with the framework of mindset. So I think coming at it that way and coming at it as it needs to start up here with what I'm telling myself, what that's making me feel, what my motivation is, and letting that, for lack of a better term, organically push me towards making the right actions. So we'll be talking about that more, or I'll be talking about that more in our video today. So I have three hang-ups that I want to talk about today. And so the first hang-up I want to talk about is fear. Now that's a really big topic, and in the future I plan on doing an entire separate video on fear and what that really looks like. First hang-up is fear, and that can really be kind of all-encompassing. I know there's a lot of things we can be afraid of, but in terms of fear around our weight loss and our health journey, there's a couple different things I want to focus on, and one is just the fear of failure. Perfectionist speaking today, so I definitely have a fear of failure, and that can be more of fear of letting people down or fear of letting myself down. But there have been 3 times in my life where I have majorly attempted some serious weight loss and seriously focusing on getting in shape. The first time was in 2007, the second time was in 2012, and the third time is this year in 2017. So, I definitely want to share that story with y'all more in detail in the future, but for now, I'll just say that each time that I pursued the weight loss and the fitness, I did it 3 different ways. I did it with 3 different mindsets, 3 different tactics, and I got 3 different types of results. So fortunately, I feel like my results have improved each time because I'm learning new things. And the third time, which is this year, I finally feel like I've got my mind right about things. But that fear of failure, I've done this before. I've been there. I've done that. I've lost weight. It's come back. It's brought friends with it. I now weigh more. I think there's definitely a fear of, what if I do this again? What if I lose weight again and it just comes back? Like I'm afraid of failing, making the same mistake, or getting back to where I was before again. So, and it may not be like I'm afraid of letting other people down, or I'm afraid of letting my spouse down or anything. It's really a fear of letting myself down. So maybe for you, you're afraid that if you try again, that it won't work again, and that you'll be, I don't know, maybe you are afraid that you'll lose respect for yourself, or that you will lose confidence in what you're capable of. So I think fear for sure can be a major hang up in keeping us from moving forward. Another fear is just afraid of being ridiculed by others. And I don't know what kind of people you if they're the kind that would like ridicule you to your face or maybe behind your back, but even if that doesn't realistically happen, that they say these things to you or about you, it's our fear that they will. It's our fear that they're doing it behind our backs. Our fear that they're thinking these things in their minds about us. Oh, there she goes again. She's trying to lose weight again. She's working out. She's at the gym. She's eating healthy again. They're not saying these things. Give it a minute or two. Okay, I'm back. I had a weird internet connection issue, so I hope that you can see me and hear me just fine. But yeah, we have these ideas in our mind of what other people are thinking about us when we try to start some new healthy habits again. A fear that people are, silently making fun of us, or maybe not even silently making fun of us, or, just looking at us for, why are you even trying to do that? Like, just enjoy life. Just eat your food. Just, don't make a big deal out of it. Definitely a fear of what others would think. Another fear, which I think is huge and really prevalent amongst any of us who are trying to lose weight and get in shape, is just a fear of making a commitment. A fear of really choosing a path, an exercise plan, a nutrition plan, a schedule. A fear of really just leaving it all behind and pursuing it 100%. A fear of committing to a program that we've chosen. A lot of us, maybe if you're like me, I tend to be all or nothing. I'm either going to do this all the way, or I'm not going to do it at all. Like, I don't want to just dabble in it, because then I feel like, what is that saying about me? I'm only like a halfway kind of person. Like, I don't like to think that about myself. So I think a fear of commitment, in a way, kind of ties back into a fear of failure, that if I don't believe that I'm really going to succeed at this, I don't want to commit. I don't want to sign my name to this and say, yes, Karen is doing this plan, because then what if ... I feel like I'll let myself down. It all kind of circles back to that fear of failure again. But I want you to know that baby steps are okay. No one is expecting you to figure this all out in 24 hours or on day 1 of your workout regimen or your new eating plan. No one is expecting you to just go from 0 to 100, because that's not how bodies change, right? I mean, first of all, let's say right now I would consider myself to be about 30-ish, 25, 30 pounds overweight. I did not put those 25 and 30 pounds on in a week or a month or a year. They jumped onto me gradually over the course of about 3 years, 4 years. And so I really feel like we give ourselves, or we put a lot of pressure on ourselves to see immediate results sometimes, when that's not how we gained the weight. That's not how we got in the unhealthy condition that we're at, whether that's overweight or obesity, or someone in our group actually mentioned earlier today about being underweight. So, you know, what is that for us? It's going to be different for each person, but please know that baby steps are okay. And in fact, I'm really a believer that baby steps are kind of the way to go. Not in the sense that you should just dabble forever, but to start out, like if you're trying to get in the swimming pool, maybe you're not one who just jumps in and feels the shock of cold immediately and then gets over it. Maybe you're one of those who wants to put their toe in the water, and then the ankle, and then the knee, and so on. And that is okay. We're all, built a little differently in how we handle difficult situations. But if you go back to the legend, or the, fairy tale or whatever, of the tortoise and the hare, maybe it was a fable. Maybe that's the right word. The tortoise and the hare, if you have been around for any length of time, you know the story. But the tortoise and the hare are in a race. And of course, the hare, or the rabbit, is super, and he's just kind of plodding along. And the hare is like, miles ahead. But he gets distracted by things he sees on the way. He thinks that he's so far ahead that he can take a nap, and he can stop for a carrot snack and all these things. Whereas the tortoise just keeps plugging along and eventually finishes the race. So he went at a slower I think we're back. He went at a slower pace, but he was consistent in his pace. He took maybe those baby steps instead of sprinting, but he got where he wanted to go. Maybe it took him a little longer, but he achieved the result he was after, whereas the hare did not. So yes, first hang up I would say would be fear. And I just touched on a few items of fear there. Second thing that can be a major hang up for us with our weight loss or fitness, our journey to health, is having unrealistic expectations. I actually think that kind of flows in from my last point about, taking baby steps and that being okay. But just having unrealistic expectations about the speed at which we're going to see results, the kind of results that we're going to see, and even what it is that we're aiming at. What are the results that we're, pushing for? I think for me, I've definitely fallen in this trap many, many years of my life. It's just comparing myself to other people and thinking, okay, that's the expectation for me. I need to look like she does. I need to have her build, or my hips need to be narrow like hers, or, I need to be shaped like this, or be able to do, I need to be able to run cross-country style and not be out of breath, and that is fitness, and that is the ideal body. And guys, I think that's so dangerous. Of course, I feel like I'm preaching to the choir. We know this, up here, but I think in our day-to-day lives, we don't necessarily live that out. We see other women and we think that that's what we're supposed to look like. Unless you have an identical twin, you're not going to look like everyone else. And I'm sure even twins, have different eating habits or whatever, and they can end up looking different. But comparing ourselves to other people is very dangerous, because really I think it denies the humanity in us, and it denies the uniqueness in ourselves and what we're meant to be. Maybe we have an unrealistic expectation of just expecting a huge change in a short amount of time. I kind of touched on this already, but like I said, if you took 3 years to put on 25 pounds, guess what? Those 25 pounds aren't going to go away in a month. If they are, you are doing something very unhealthy, and your results aren't going to last anyway. I want to talk about something that I mentioned in the ebook, which if you haven't checked out, if you're new to the group, that's my free gift to you for joining Momentum Mindset. If you go to the files section in the top left area of the page, you're going to see your free ebook, and it's called Shame Busters. And one of the things that I address in the free ebook is, your body compared to someone else's body and why they might look drastically different, even if you're related, and why that's okay and why that's actually kind of scientific. But if you're comparing yourself to others, or if you're expecting a huge, huge change in yourself in a small time, it may be that you're not aware of what body type you have or how your body actually works. And I'm not talking about being apple-shaped or pear-shaped or hourglass-shaped or anything like that, inverted carrot, triangle, whatever. What I'm talking about is your body composition and what your body responds best to as far as the foods you eat, the exercises you do, and just what your strengths are. So there's 3 main types that I touch on in the ebook. I want you to definitely check it out. And I will post the link to a friend of mine who has a blog that talks a lot about the 3 different somatotypes or body types. So you can check that out for yourself. But for example, my sister and I, we're related. We have the same exact parents, but her body type is way different than mine. She can eat the way that I cannot. She can eat a lot of carbohydrates and see no weight put on. I think about a carbohydrate and I've gained a pound. That's how it feels. So we're related 100%, but our body types are very different. And for many, many years, especially through some not so considerate comments from my parents growing up, like I just compared myself to her and thought, man, if I don't look like that, then I'm fat or I'm overweight, or why am I the overweight child? Why can't I have her body? But we're just built differently. She has a different body type than I do. She responds to foods differently. She carries her weight differently. Even her physical, like the pros of her body are different than mine. What I mean by that is the strengths that she has physically are going to be different than mine because of the way that our bodies are. So I think that's important to check out. Just having a realistic expectation for what your body's supposed to look like. And I want to stress, what is your body supposed to look like? What does health look like for you, right? You're trying to be healthy. Your goal shouldn't necessarily be, I just want to be thin. But what does healthy look like for you? When you're in shape, when you're strong, when you're eating in a way that's actually fueling your body and not giving you things that you don't need, what does your body end up looking like? That's healthy, right? That's being in shape. So what does it look like for you? I'm going to post a link below about somatotypes that I want you to check out, because I think that's really going to open your eyes to A, what is your body type? What can you expect from your body realistically? And B, how to best exercise or eat for your body type. So knowledge is power. The last hang up I want to talk about today is not knowing how. Just a lack of information, a lack of knowledge. So we've talked about fear, which is kind of emotional. Why? Having those unrealistic expectations of, why is my body not changing the way I want it to? Who am I comparing myself to? The third thing is not knowing how. Hi, Debbie. Thanks for joining us. The third thing is not knowing how. And by that, I mean having either a skill set or a knowledge base out there that you haven't acquired yet. So maybe for you, it's not knowing what type of exercises to do or how to do them. Maybe you had an injury in the past related to exercise or not, and it's kind of scaring you away of like, well, how do I exercise now? I did this thing before and it ended up hurting myself. I actually have a story about that. A few years ago, during my second major time of trying to lose weight and get in shape, I wasn't listening to the instructor who was doing the program, and I got my neck in a position that they said not to, just because I wasn't realizing what I was doing. And it was like a floor type of exercise, and as soon as I stood up, I had an instant headache, which turned into a migraine that lasted for a week. I had done something to one of the, what do you call those? a cervical spine point in my neck. And so for the next week I had a migraine, and the only way that it went away was for me to lay down in a certain position for about an hour, and then when I would get up I'd have about an hour of relief, and then it would just come back. So I was working, doing, having this pain, and it wasn't until I got to see a chiropractor about a week or so later that pain subsided. So you better believe that I was scared to exercise after that. And honestly, I had seen a lot of improvement in my weight and in my fitness up until that day when I stopped exercising out of fear. So over the next 3 years, I gained all that weight back and then some, simply because I was scared. Well, I used it as an excuse, that fear of working out, that fear of exercising, because, oh no, I might hurt myself again. I mean, that's a legitimate fear, but I mean, 3 years, like I didn't do what I needed to do to learn and figure out, what I did wrong and how I could do it better. Maybe your not knowing how or your fear of moving forward because of a lack of knowledge could be you just don't have a plan. There's so many things out there, guys. There's so many ways to get in shape. I mean, you can follow the HIIT, HIIT, which is the high intensity interval training. You can do spin classes, you can do yoga, you can do Zumba, you can do jazzercise. Do they still do jazzercise? You can do water aerobics. I mean, there's so many different things to do. There's so many different ways to eat. Not having a plan, but being overwhelmed by information can be like paralyzing, right? So maybe you're not knowing how isn't that you don't have information. Maybe it's you have like information overload, right? Everything's on the internet. Everybody has a book out. Everybody has a blog. Everybody has a way to do it. And you're stuck. Like you don't even know where to start. And that is a legitimate fear of just, I don't even know what to do. Maybe you're not knowing how is like me. For the longest time, I'm still learning, of course. I don't have like the perfect answer right now, but for me, nutrition was a huge like question mark for me. I thought I knew how to eat healthfully, but I really didn't. The first time back in 2007 when I was trying to eat healthy and go to the gym 3 times a week, I did not know how to eat healthy. So what did I do? I ate a lot of salads, which probably had a lot of unnecessary high-calorie things on them to make them tasty. I ate a lot of salads, and I replaced my jelly with sugar-free jelly and got rid of the chocolate syrup in my house. Like, that's what I did. And so over about 1.5 years of going to the gym 3 times a week, I mean, I was pretty steady with it. Unless I was sick or something, I was there 3 times a week. Going to the gym, eating my salads, cutting out my extra sugar. 1.5 years of doing that, I think I maybe lost about 15 or 20 pounds, which is great, but it wasn't the drastic change that I was looking for, but I didn't know how to eat. Flash forward to 2012, I did learn how to eat correctly. I did learn how to do some really, really beneficial exercises. And over a 5-month period of time, I lost 30 pounds, which was amazing because this was all workouts that I was doing in my home. I never once went to a gym. But I learned how to eat healthy, hopefully. One day I'm going to figure out how to say that correctly. And I was able to eat less, but still feel satisfied. Like, I don't remember being hungry very much during that period because I was giving myself foods that gave me the nutrients that I needed, so I didn't crave so much. Flash forward, right? My injury happened. Flash forward, I'm married. I got lazy. I got my man now. I don't need to look good. Whatever. I just basically stopped and I just ate whatever I wanted. I really lost sight of what eating healthy looked like. I really lost sight of even wanting to work out. But I knew that I needed to change something. Like, I knew my weight was starting to creep up. So I tried to be a vegan. My husband and I actually both tried this for, I want to say, about 3.5 months, starting January of last year. We started off with a little juice cleanse, which was interesting. But by the middle of April, we were on our anniversary trip, and it was hard to find places to eat when you're vegan, and we got in a lot of arguments over the trip just based on like, where can we go? What can we do? I miss cheese. Like, that's kind of where I was. And I told him, you know, after this vacation, like, I totally support you if you want to continue, you know, eating the vegan way, but just for me personally, I can't do it. I feel like I'm eating way too much. I feel like I'm actually gaining weight doing this, and I miss dairy. Like, me and dairy are good friends. So I just got really frustrated at that point and was like, well, how do I eat? Like, if even cutting out meat and dairy products is not helping me, how do I eat? And I got kind of, I don't know, like, I almost feel like I gave up in a sense. Like, I need something that's going to be sustainable for me, that I can do throughout my life, and that I can tweak when I feel like I need to lose pounds. But in general, a way that I can eat to just be healthy overall. Like, what is that? Is that out there? I'm like, I feel like I've tried everything, you know? And those times when I would have cravings or just super hungry or eating for emotional reasons, like, all rules that I thought I knew, all of that just kind of went out the window. So not knowing how to eat has been huge for me. And that's actually one of the reasons that I wanted to share that tool with you that I mentioned in yesterday's video, which I did not bring over here with me. Let me go grab those. You guys can come with me. The portion control containers that I was telling you about, these actually helped me so much these past couple of months, because right after the holidays, I ended up in such an overeating type of place. I really honestly was like, I don't care if I'm not hungry. I'm going to have that extra piece of pie because I just want it. I think the holidays are a really bad time of year to try to have portion control. So I let myself get way, way, way out of control with it. Thank you for staying with me through that journey into the darkness back there. It's really, really dark here in Texas for the past 3 days. It's actually been kind of depressing. But anyway, the portion control system that I have here in front of me today is actually something that I posted a link to, and I'll post a link again. But this is something that has helped me tremendously get a more realistic view in my mind again of what real, honest portions look like, right? We're not supersizing here. We're not going for the big gulp. But I want to show you these containers because they've been super helpful for me. I am on selfie mode, so this is probably backwards for you, but this is fruits. Once you fill it up and put it on your plate, like, it is way more than this looks like, perhaps, on camera. So you're going to get the purple fruit container, with a portion of fruits that you can fit inside. Basically, whatever you can fit in there is a portion of fruit. A portion of vegetables, which is slightly larger than the fruit portion. Etc. You're going to see your proteins. Meat. You're probably not going to want to smash meat in there, but you can go off of like a 4-ounce guideline for your meat. Your proteins will go in here. I do Greek yogurt in here, actually, which, again, it's a lot once you put it in there. Like, it's more than you think. Sometimes I can only eat like half of that. You're going to get a healthy fats container. I honestly have only been putting avocado in here because me and avocado have a thing going on. But this isn't like for bacon fat, right? This is for healthy fats. And again, you can kind of use from it throughout the day, or you can, you know, just use one portion during one meal. And then you're going to get 2 of the seeds and dressings. So maybe you can do seeds in one, dressings in the other, and then take it with you for your salad during the day. So they give you 2 of these just, I think, for convenience sake. And then, of course, all of these have lids. So there are 7 pieces to the system. What you're going to get with the portion control container system is a cookbook, or a recipe book, I should say. They're not all cooking like with heat. But 101 recipes for actually using these containers. So the whole idea of the recipes is that they're based off of the container system. But the recipe book is called Fixate. It's by Autumn Calabrese, and that comes with your containers. I'm going to put the link in the description below, or I'm sorry, we're not on YouTube, on the comments below. But if you purchase by this Sunday, the 14th, at 10:59 p.m. Central, which is 11:59 p.m. Eastern, I'm going to also give you 3 bonus items just to give it more of a rounded out feel to your purchase. The first thing I'm going to give you is a portion control key, which is going to help you figure out, based on your goals and your current, weight status, how many of each container of food you get each day. So you don't just get one. I didn't introduce this one. This one's carbohydrates. You don't just get one carb a day and one veggie a day. You get multiple of each depending on your current weight and your current level of activity and your current goals. So you're going to get the portion key, the portion control key, which helps you know how to use the containers to help you lose weight. And help you get a better idea of your portion sizes. The second thing is I'm going to give you an exclusive video as to how to use the containers and a recipe demonstration so you can see them in action. That's something you won't be able to access without the purchase. So I won't just be putting that up on the community. That's going to be available for people who purchase by Sunday evening. And then the third thing you're going to get is a mindset guide. It's a mindset e-guide that I'm putting together for y'all. It's 10 ways to curb your cravings without food. So super helpful. I think it really complements the portion control system. You're going to learn how to use it. You're going to see them in action, and you're going to help train your mind to ignore the cravings that you're having when you don't have that in your plan, right? You've eaten your portions for the day. You're craving something unhealthy, or you're craving more. How can you get around that? So this really is a great bundle, guys. When you bundle this all together, you're going to end up with 5 great items. I'm really excited to share this with you because this has really, really helped me kind of reset my mind as far as what am I eating each day? How much am I eating? You might think that these look small, but again, once you put the food in there and you put it on your plate, some days I actually struggled to eat all of the food because it was giving me healthy food. So I was getting what I needed. But anyway, I'm going to go ahead and cut the video off. I'm not seeing anyone posting any comments. So if I do see those later, if you guys want to go ahead and comment, if you're watching the replay of this, I will see your comment and your question, and I will get back to you. Going forward, if you do have questions for Q&A Wednesday, go ahead and email me at heymomentummindset@gmail.com, or you can go ahead and show up during our live video and type out your question there. The last thing I wanted to just quickly address was someone had mentioned getting to a point where they had lost a lot of weight and don't know how to gain weight again. And I personally don't have experience with this, unfortunately, but I did just want to speak to that person really quickly and say that I really think checking out the link that I'm going to post below about the somatotypes or body types is really going to help you maybe discover why you lost the weight. I don't know if it was through like sickness or a diet change or stress or combination of those things, but knowing your body type and your somatotype is really going to help you figure out a way to eat healthier in a way that will help you, like you said, like regain the structure to your body. I am not a dietitian or a nutritionist, but I know that protein can definitely help you get your weight back up to a healthy place, as well as incorporating healthy fats like avocados and dairy and things like that. So take a look at that link, and if you have any questions about that, please feel free to contact me at heymomentummindset@gmail.com. Thank you guys so much for joining me today and for being patient with our technical difficulties. I will see you later. Bye-bye.